Florida Everglades in America's tropical south. Over 6 million acres of steaming hot swampland, alive with deadly creatures. One of the least hospitable places on the planet.
This is the road into one of the last great prehistoric landscapes on Earth. Once the track runs out, there's nothing but mud, water, grass, and over 2 million alligators.
Out here, it's a battle for survival between man and beast. What the Unbreakables don't know yet is they'll have to fight that battle with their bare hands.
Fingers back, fingers back.
They'll also have to fight each other in a tribal grudge match. Anyone who fails to meet the challenge will be broken and sent home.
Nice easy breaths, okay?
With the temperature in the high 90s, the Unbreakables' journey to camp would be hard even without the endless swamp water and the constant threat of deadly creatures. Survival here is impossible without adapting to the environment. So Benedict has called upon a man whose people have over 10,000 years' experience enduring against the odds in the great American wilderness. Anything or anyone that crosses him is certain to feel his wrath.
My name is not important to you, but you will call me teacher. You know, people think Indians are just another piece of fucking shit sometimes. I'm not just another fucking Indian. You have to realize that you're at the bottom of the food chain here. You are meat. Do you have something to say?
No, teacher.
Out here, it's survival of the fittest. This alligator was killed by a larger male, but its dead body can provide the means for the Unbreakables to survive.
This creature was a warrior in life. In death, it is still a warrior. It'll help you accomplish the tasks that are before you.
On hunting trips, Teacher's ancestors slept on improvised beds of sawgrass leaves. Tonight, the Unbreakables will build their camp the same way. To cut the sawgrass, they'll need a traditional tool, alligator ribs.
I'm giving you a bit of a helping hand, but in the old days, the indigenous people would have had to wait for the vultures to rip open the alligator.
To get at the ribs, the Unbreakables have just their bare hands to work with.
This, I can feel something hard here.
This alligator died a week ago, and in the scorching heat, tearing away at its entrails to get at the bones inside is gut-wrenching work.
Oh man, that is vile.
Don't worry about his guts. The vultures will take them when you're done with them.
Jesus.
While the rest of the Unbreakables are prepared to be patient, Fraser decides to attack the corpse with a stick.
Hang on.
Musician Barnaby is frustrated with his reckless approach.
Sometimes like you have the stick going like that, like, really close to your hands, and yeah, so, I don't know. That's starting to annoy me a bit, really.
Do so.
Fraser, chill out, mate. Chill out.
Ex-boxer Dave comes up with a brutal but more effective solution to get at the elusive ribs.
If you break his back there, we should be able to get in, hold the ribs and pull them out, hopefully pretty much intact.
Dave's tactics are paying dividends.
Oh, nice.
Go on, boy.
Cheers. Well done, mate.
The Unbreakables claim their prize, the alligator ribs, which they'll use as knives.
Seems to be pretty sharp.
But not as sharp as this. Coming up, the Unbreakables meet the alpha predator of the Everglades.
That's got you thinking, doesn't it?
And Teacher hands out a caning.
What looks so funny?
Explorer Benedict Allen has challenged the Unbreakables to survive in the hot and humid swamps of the Florida Everglades. All around are deadly creatures ready to strike at any moment. And so is their guide, Teacher.
I'm not just another fucking Indian.
The Unbreakables have shown they've got the guts to get to grips with a dead alligator.
Oh man, that is vile.
But it's only a matter of time before they come across some live ones.
In order to survive here, you're going to have to know what you're up against.
Before they venture further into the swamp, Teacher has asked Everglades wildlife experts Bob Freer and his team to warn them of the dangers.
We average about 50 alligator attacks a year. In the last 20 years, 20 fatalities. A 7-foot alligator bites you on the forearm, rolls and spin, it's gonna take your whole arm off. What you have here is called your alligator snapper, and it will remove a foot quite easily.
But an even bigger threat are the 60 species of venomous snakes that kill over 250 people here every year.
This is the rattlesnake. This is the one you really have to watch out for. If you hear a bush making a noise, don't go over and run in the bush. One bite from this snake is capable of killing 12 people. And these are the fangs of a deadly snake.
The Unbreakables now know about the dangers of this environment, and with sundown in less than 2 hours, they're desperate to reach their campsite before nightfall. This swamp river has brought their progress to an abrupt halt. A traditional Native American dugout canoe offers their only precarious route across.
So if we fall in, what's the best?
Look around. All things in nature connected. They communicate through the air. Do you think that's funny? Or what do you think about what I'm saying?
I wasn't laughing.
Okay, because you've got a funny way of smiling sometimes. I'm not sure if it's cynicism, if it's sarcasm.
No, I promise I wasn't.
22-year-old ex-public schoolboy Barnaby has clashed with authority before.
Anybody not enjoying it?
Yeah.
I'm not interested. Come and tell me.
Did I ask question? Did I tell you to say something?
But in the desert, it was the other Unbreakables who paid the price for his insubordination.
Come on, let's go!
Thank you, Barnaby. Thank you, Barnaby.
Are you happy, Barnaby?
Thank you, Barnaby.
Now, Barnaby's questioning the wisdom of trying to paddle across this river.
Well, I feel that I don't want to fall in, obviously. I feel like, like a big bit of bait.
Teacher's ancestors were taught from an early age how to master these narrow canoes. First pro skier Angus, and then ex-boxer Dave quickly discover how unstable they are in unskilled hands.
Keep your eye on the gators.
Dave decides to swim for it.
Watch the banks, watch the water for alligators.
Once again, gung-ho Fraser leaps before he looks.
Well, Fraser's constantly gun-ho. It's just ridiculous to jump in like that.
Rebel Barnaby decides he wants to do things his own way. He asks Fraser for a sneaky push.
Away you go.
Lightweight Barnaby makes it safely across. But 15.5 stone rugby player Matt is at a huge disadvantage.
He's just going to be so big for the boat, I just don't know how he's going to do it.
Matt trumps Barnaby and masters a new technique.
He's got it,
His right leg is keeping him on an even keel.
Nice, mate. Keep it going.
The other heavyweight in the group, 6'2", 14 stone Fraser, would do well to copy him.
Which method are you using, Fraser?
Slow and gentle. There you go.
But as usual, he wants to do things his own way.
Hey, you might try Matt's way.
He belatedly decides that Matt was right after all.
Got it, Fraser.
Great, Fraser.
"44-year-old Ironman Fraser knows he's not got the stamina of the younger Unbreakables.
You could say I'm an underdog because of age. However, you can also use the flip side of that, and there's a degree of maturity and hopefully wisdom.
But from the jungle onwards, what he's lacked in power, he's made up for in grim determination.
Right, change over, mate.
Change over. Step on it.
It's a strategy that's backfired, sapping his energy and betraying his age. First in the desert,
Even Carla made better time than you.
and then with the Navy SEALs.
Hurry up, Grandpa! Says in the geriatric triathlon.
Fraser makes it across the river with the other Unbreakables, but his hot-headed approach isn't impressing Teacher.
He competes with ferocity, with intensity, with a zeal and enthusiasm, which is all very admirable. The danger is, it's not balanced with wisdom, it's not balanced with caution, it's not balanced with an awareness. Much positive, much negative, no balance.
The Unbreakables finally make it to their campsite. They're exhausted from the journey, but Teacher's not about to let them rest easy.
Tonight this will be your campsite. An alligator makes its nest on a mat of grass, a sawgrass 3 to 4 feet tall, and lays its eggs upon them to keep out of the water. The same thing you will do here. Use your bones as cutting tools to take down the sawgrass.
Okay, well, let's just all get an area where we're going to make the beds, our own beds then.
The sawgrass is razor sharp, so their efforts to retrieve the alligator rib knives have paid off. The Unbreakables have to chop down enough leaves to build a bed thick enough to protect them from unwelcome snakes. There's just half an hour until sundown to finish the job. Once it gets dark, venturing into the undergrowth is too dangerous.
Everyone just be aware, it's now getting towards night time. Night time is the time of snakes. 90% of snakes are nocturnal.
But as night closes in, Matt's got other things on his mind.
Crocodiles, they'll probably come looking, so that's a bit scary. I don't think we have a contingency plan yet, do we, guys? Just shout and run. Alligator! Ah!
Fucking hell.
Day 2 in the Florida Everglades.
Not a wonderful night's sleep at all. And then when it started getting lighter, the mozzies, there's a constant little all around your ears all night, so that's horrible.
The Unbreakables have managed to escape the attention of the local alligators, but they're still in for a mauling. Teacher isn't happy that they've used their camping mats on top of their traditional sawgrass beds.
Nature gave you a wonderful place to sleep in last night. You had fresh air, you had a good night, no snakes bit you, no alligators attacked you. Having the mats on top of it defeated the purpose of laying on this grass as the alligators do. What looks so funny?
I wasn't laughing, teacher.
Barnaby, does the native culture that I represent seem funny to you?
Teacher, I can assure you you've got the wrong idea. I wasn't laughing.
Then if I have the wrong idea, good. If I get the right idea, it will be really bad for me.
If the Unbreakables think they've suffered the worst of Teacher's ire, they'd better think again. He's furious they've ignored one of the most important rules of bushcraft.
Animals do not shit where they sleep. They leave it far from their camp. Someone has left a turd out there, very close by. Just like some dogs eat shit, there's some animals, the smell of human excrement is very attractive to them. You people should have a designated area for doing these things. Who is it?
It's me, teacher.
Take care of it right now, please.
The Unbreakables clearly need a reminder of the consequences if they carelessly attract the local residents into their camp. The American alligator is one of the deadliest predators on the planet. Growing up to 18 feet long, they're over 400 pounds of teeth and muscle, and a fearsome adversary.
Jesus Christ, what are we going to do with that?
I want to see how you conquer fear itself. One by one, you're going to be called forward,
Right.
and you are going to get this animal under your control.
The Unbreakables will have to use their bare hands to contain this adult male.
Okay, he's getting anxious to get started. Lisa,
Bob Freer and his team of wranglers will be ready to jump in if things go wrong.
Okay, I want you to listen very closely. 2,000 pounds per square inch of biting force.
Oh!
If that gets you, it's taking it off if he rolls or spins.
Oh!
There really is no room for error.
Bob's got over 20 years' experience working with alligators, and he knows exactly how to handle them. The Unbreakables will have to get the hang of it rather more quickly. Anyone who isn't brave enough will be broken.
All right, that wasn't the dangerous part.
Once the Unbreakables have got the gator in their grasp, they have to get those mighty jaws under control without losing a finger.
You're gonna cover the eyes, so if you make a mistake, he doesn't know your hand's there. We can push the head down, then quickly come underneath and over here. And I would suggest that you actually use both hands. And then I'll come up and put tape behind the nose.
First person, Matt. Can everyone else walk over there, please?
Come on, Big Matt.
While Matt decides on his approach,
Okay, ready for this? All right.
the rest of the Unbreakables are kept well away to avoid stressing out the alligator.
I've got to say, I've got that nauseous little feeling in the pit of my stomach I used to get before fights. Keeps you on edge, keeps you sharp.
I wish I'd gone first. I would have liked to have just gone in and got it done. I kind of hope Matt's not pissing off too much as well, you know?
Once again, Matt's not taking any risks. He's come up with a clever strategy. By covering the alligator's head with his shirt, it will be easier to sneak up on it. But the gator's seen him coming. Matt will have to move quickly.
Tight on the neck, tight on the neck. Right there. Hold him secure.
The next move is even more risky. Matt's got to hold on for dear life to the powerful jaws.
Okay, now with your arms and that, just actually lean back with your whole body, bring the head up. Perfect, just like that. Go ahead and cover the eyes. There you go. And then step off left or right, whatever way you feel comfortable. Grab your shirt.
I was absolutely crapping myself. I saw the white of the inside of its mouth when I was on top.
Yeah, hold them secure.
That is the scariest thing I've ever done.
Got him.
One by one, the Unbreakables have to take their turn. As Angus feared, the gator's getting grumpy.
That's got you thinking, doesn't it? Just hang on. No, hang on. You're doing good. Okay, very good.
I feel great. I just feel totally energized after that experience, to be honest.
Good job. Come on up in there. Come on up in there.
Ex-boxer Dave isn't one to back out of a fight.
You and me, Godzilla, relax yourself.
Unbroken and wrestling an alligator. Still unbroken.
Dave, Angus and Matt have conquered their fears, but Fraser doesn't have any.
What I want you to do is to grab his tail and swing around and drag him back here.
Dave's concerned that Fraser might underestimate the gator and not pay it enough respect.
Fraser's got to be one of the most enthusiastic guys I've ever met in my life, but sometimes that can be a bit counterproductive. He'll be poking him fingers in his eyes.
In typical Fraser style, he doesn't hang around. The Unbreakables were warned to keep their fingers well away from the alligator's razor-sharp teeth.
Yep. Quick motion. Yeah, that was close. No. Keep fingers back. There you go.
Fraser does exactly what he was told not to and risks losing his fingers. He's got away with it by the skin of the alligator's teeth, but Bob's not impressed.
He could have easily have lost a couple of fingers then. I'm just surprised that he didn't. No, keep fingers back. There you go.
Do you think he's going to carry on getting away with it?
2 more days to go. I'd be surprised if his luck could hold out 4 days. Yeah.
Coming up, Fraser runs out of luck. Barnaby gets cold feet.
I'm contemplating going home.
And feels the heat.
Enough! It is a dance of lies with words. You are a jackal. You are a hyena.
This week, the 5 remaining Unbreakables have been challenged to survive in the 90-degree heat of the fetid swamps of the Florida Everglades. They're getting to grips with some dangerous creatures, and Iron Man Fraser has been reckless to the point of stupidity.
No, keep fingers back. He could have easily have lost a couple of fingers then.
After Fraser nearly fed his fingers to the gator, Barnaby is next to wrangle it. But he's gripped by a sudden fear.
Guys, I have to say, to be perfectly honest, I'm contemplating going home.
If Barnaby slips up, he won't just lose his fingers, he could lose his career.
Being a performer is my other passion in life besides my training. Someday I hope that I will have maybe some sort of chart success. The dream is to retire in some nice country house with some dogs and a nice grand piano. Yeah, that would suit me.
It's the case of, do I do something like this, which, okay, is great to do, I understand all of that, and risk something which I want to do for the rest of my life?
But ex-boxer Dave won't let Barnaby quit without putting up a fight.
You beat this, imagine the elation you're going to feel. You fucking wrestled an alligator. Come on, this is living on the edge. I know what you're saying, but you only get one shot at life.
Well, at least lose a couple of fingers first and tendons, and then decide whether you want to give up.
Barnaby!
It's make or break. Can Barnaby summon the courage to take on the gator?
Doesn't seem to be too worried.
If he's going to conquer the beast, he'll have to commit to the challenge.
Please don't blow my fingers out.
It's no time for indecision.
One of the most stupid things I've ever done in my life.
Way up there. You're not up there yet. Get up there. Very good. Keep your hands there. Keep your hands there. Keep your body back. Keep your body back. There you go.
Barnaby's piano-playing fingers aren't safe until he's secured those powerful jaws.
Jesus.
Okay.
Okay, please take it. Fucking God. Jesus, is he secure like that?
Yep. Hop off. Yep. Hop off. Hop off.
I've got all my fingers! That was one of the most stupid things I've ever done in my life, which is fair enough, but hey, I've done it, and I live to tell the story.
It's the end of day 2.
This is going to be a celebration that everything you've done so far, no one has been injured, no one has been hurt.
But if the Unbreakables are expecting champagne and caviar, they're in for a nasty shock.
All 5 of you conquered your fears with the alligator. That was good.
There's one more alligator they'll have to finish off before they can turn in for the night.
So this is meat from the alligator tail, the best bit.
After the Unbreakables have enjoyed their gourmet supper,
Cheers. Cheers, man. Tastes a bit like chicken.
it's time for an after-dinner smoke. The peace pipe is of great spiritual importance to Native Americans and was traditionally brought out when warring tribes sat down for a powwow. It seems to have done the job. Even Barnaby and Teacher have buried the hatchet for the time being.
I'm really pleased that today's happened in a strange sort of way. I think it's been a great day.
It's the Unbreakable's third morning in the Everglades. Exhausted from the physical challenges and weakened by the meagre rations, to add to their misery, they've been soaked through by an overnight downpour.
Oh, when it started raining last night, I was like, no, please don't rain. In fact, I'll show you, look. I've got like a dry patch of where I've been lying, and everywhere around is damp, horrible weeds, but just sat it out and like, stop, rain, please stop, rain, please stop.
It's like sleeping in a pond, isn't it? Do you think?
The Unbreakables have barely got the energy to stand up on two legs. But Teacher's about to make them balance on one. On a pole. In the middle of a river. This traditional endurance test was devised by chiefs to develop the qualities required of a young brave when stalking prey or an enemy.
We want to see which one of you Unbreakables has the best mastery of mind over body, your balance. The rules are, whoever can stand on the top of the poles with their 1 foot contacting the longest wins this issue of balance, mind over body. You ready? Do you understand?
Yes, teacher.
Prepare to enter the water.
Where are you?
Don't fall off.
No, I'm gone.
Oh no, Dave.
The only rule of the challenge is that the Unbreakables can't touch the pole with their other foot once they've managed to steady themselves.
It's okay, I'm here.
Drop your sticks. Let the challenge begin.
The Unbreakables are desperate not to be the first to fall in. But Dave's balance deserts him and he's out in seconds.
Feel what the pole is doing.
It doesn't take long for the pain to kick in, as the lactic acid starts to build up in their standing leg.
Your loose foot must not touch the pole.
What? Shit.
Keep his arms out, keep calm.
Don't fight the wind. Move with it a little bit.
Iron Man Fraser is next to crack, and he can't hide his disappointment.
The water is calm. Take from that. The leg that is not on the pole will not be touching the pole. It must be away from the pole.
As the smallest and lightest of the Unbreakables, Barnaby's now the favourite. Once more, he can't resist breaking the rules by resting his other foot against the pole. Barnaby's cheating hasn't won him the challenge.
7 minutes, well done.
But at least it wasn't spotted by Teacher's all-seeing eyes.
Just continue to move with the wind.
Just 2 Unbreakables remain. Pro skier Angus couldn't make his superior balance count in the canoe crossing, so he's desperate to get one over on Matt. 23-year-old Matt has emerged from the middle of the pack to become a leading contender. In the Sahara Desert, his strength and endurance enabled him to tame the camels.
See you in a winning position.
And the conditions. During Navy SEALs Week, he finally emerged as top dog. Almost 10 minutes in, and the lactic acid burn is excruciating. For both Matt and Angus, the pain is etched on their faces. But which of them has the best control of mind over muscle? Matt lasts an impressive 11 minutes. He proves he has the balance and stamina of a hunter and warrior. But he doesn't get long to celebrate his moment of victory.
Or it should be an occasion of happiness. Instead, the dominant strength right now is lie. Barnaby, you cheated. Your foot was resting against the log. Why did you do this?
I would say that I wasn't using 2 feet.
Enough! It is a dance of lies with words. You have disgraced your brothers. You have lied to them. You are a jackal. You are a hyena. An opportunistic coward. All you men will get in the water and you'll be able to bathe and cleanse yourself in normal fashion. You will get into the mud to cleanse yourself and bathe yourself in mud to become clean.
Okay.
A warrior doesn't cheat his brothers. A warrior doesn't cheat or lie against himself or his brothers. There is no honor in that.
It's not just Teacher who wants to see Barnaby punished. The other Unbreakables are disappointed by his attempt to gain an unfair advantage, and he's in danger of making things worse by refusing to own up.
I didn't stand on the log with...
But that is, you couldn't, even if you just stable, and I don't mind, I don't mind.
Yeah.
Even if you just stabilised with 1 foot,
yeah,
that's you cheating, you're cheating.
Yeah, okay, well, I mean...
Fraser was standing behind you and he saw this.
I thought his foot was resting. Well, it was resting, not I thought. It was resting, so...
But do you really think my foot was resting doing the actual balancing, Fraser?
Well, I was standing behind you, so I could see it.
What? So you really think that I was standing with one leg
Instead
there?
of questioning me, just answer truthfully to yourself, that's all. That's all you have to do, answer truthfully to yourself.
Well, Fraser, then if I'm answering truthfully to myself, then I know that I was standing on one leg on the thing.
Why is he coming back on me?
Because you're saying I was resting my foot. I don't think I was.
Okay.
Barnaby's behaviour during the pole stand has enraged Teacher.
Once he was caught it by so many people and he was confronted with it, he denied it. He didn't accept responsibility. There was no remorse. Yet he should have been very ashamed.
Washed and refreshed, Teacher has challenged Barnaby to lead the group on the 3-mile journey back to camp through some of the Everglades' most perilous terrain.
The watchword here is awareness. This is prime alligator country, prime snake country.
It's mating season in the Everglades, and an amorous gator or rattlesnake will be far from happy if an Unbreakable drops in unannounced.
This is a test of pure speed, pure swiftness, concentration, and endurance.
Line sails up. And go!
Barnaby shoots ahead of the group. Despite the searing heat, he's keen to restore some credibility in the eyes of Teacher and his rivals. Angus, Matt and Dave are doing their best to maintain the pace. But it's Fraser who's really struggling. After his over-enthusiastic efforts of the last couple of days, he's peaked too early. The 44-year-old Ironman suddenly isn't looking quite so tough. Angus catches Barnaby, but with only half the distance covered, they're suffering in the Everglades' punishing terrain.
Running through all this kind of bogland with boots and trousers on, and so inconsistent the terrain. Some of it's hard, some of it you're going through to your knees, then you're crossing rivers and it's always changing. Then on top of that you've got gators and you've got snakes and all sorts of stuff in there.
The local wildlife is the last thing on Fraser's mind.
At one stage, you know, we ran past an alligator. I was aware of that, but I couldn't do anything about it. I couldn't run any faster, put it that way.
He's fallen so far back, it's his pride that's in danger of being swallowed by the swamp. Barnaby and Angus have the finish in their sights.
OK, come on you guys, strong finish!
It's a big final push from the front runners. Followed closely behind by Dave, with Matt 1 minute behind. But the unforgiving terrain and 90-degree heat is threatening to break Fraser.
All I kept thinking of was just keep plodding on. Put one foot in front of the other.
That's it, mate.
Fraser's out on his feet, and Expedition Dr. Fee Ramsden is concerned that his body is in danger of overheating.
What are you?
Apparently unbreakable.
After all his efforts to push himself back up the pecking order, Fraser's come back down to earth with a bang. Coming up, aggression reaches fever pitch, and Dave and Fraser are on the warpath.
You started the fucking cheap shots, Fraser, so don't get down that angle.
Cheap shots?
5 Unbreakables remain on the last day of their Everglades challenge.
Oh man, that is vile.
They've tackled some of the most terrifying beasts in the swamp.
You and me, Godzilla, relax yourself.
But for his final challenge, Teacher wants them to tackle each other.
Sometimes when tribes are at odds with each other, it was decided to hold a game. However, this game was not just a game.
As a way of settling tribal disputes, blows from the wooden sticks often caused serious injury.
In the old days, deaths even came out of this game. That's why it was called Little Brother of War.
Each one of you will have one stick in each hand. The object of the game is to hit this ball onto that post 5 times. First person to do that wins. But this is a combat sport, and that means it's a contact sport. You've got to do whatever you can to get your ball on that post and stop the others doing that first.
The only rule is that the Unbreakables have to finish the game. If anyone is injured and unable to continue, they will be broken. It's the Unbreakables' final chance in the Everglades to establish themselves at the top of the pecking order. It's also a chance to settle any grudges. It's rugby player Matt who is most at home with the rough and tumble.
Yeah.
And takes an early lead.
Well done, Matt.
But pint-sized Barnaby is taking a beating.
Got him in the gonads.
Full on heel to the nut.
It looks like the former choir boy won't have any trouble reaching those high notes.
Fraser has the ball.
44-year-old Fraser is running on empty, so he's come up with a strategy.
For my money, he stood back and waited by the post for the ball to come in and sneak it in. They call it goal hanging in football.
Yes!
Fraser's letting the others do the running while he picks off the points.
Yeah. Crucial point of the game. Fraser now has 4. He only needs 1 more to win.
The tactics now are to stop Fraser at all costs. Now it's his turn to claim foul play.
Yeah, I think there was a couple of off-the-ball incidents. It's all right to be tackled by Dave, but not to tackle Dave.
Do you feel like they're all against you now?
It's the game, isn't it? So let's play.
Fraser's tactics have won him the game, but he's lost the respect of his fellow Unbreakables.
He seems to be trying to alienate himself from the group, and I find it quite sickening at times.
So how do you feel that all went?
Good tactics, I thought.
Well, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think it was in the spirit of things, just standing by the post waiting for everybody else to fight it out.
The most annoying things for me was just busting the gut, ball goes near the post and Fraser's there to pick it up, and it's just, that's like, oh man.
Yeah, but it was almost like catch the pigeon at the end, where everyone was going for me, so.
You started the fucking cheap shots, Fraser, so don't go down that angle.
Cheap shots?
All 5 remaining Unbreakables have emerged from the choking heat and constant danger of the Everglades. But at a price. Now, they're not just at war with nature, they're at war with each other. Next time, the Unbreakables face a beating at the hands of a ferocious African tribe, the Zulus. They must battle or be broken in their toughest challenge yet.